Hello, good morning. This is Dave Allen for EV20 Questions, and today we're going to go on a trip to France. We're going to go to a place just a bit northeast of Perpignan. It's a place called CHAdeMO or something like that. There's a lagoon there, and it's by the coast. Could be a lake. I don't know if it's a lagoon or a lake, one of the two. And the idea is to go up there, and there's a charging point there, a CHAdeMO, which we'll be able to test out. If that one doesn't work, I've got the card now to be able to use the Kiwi charger, which is situated at the Ocean shopping centre in Perpignan. And the other place I want to try out for charging is at the Nissan dealers in Perpignan. Now, the reason I want to try out these chargers, with the one for Ocean and for the one at the Nissan dealer, it's halfway between here and where we go to vacation at Les Angles, Lake Matamala in France, in the Pyrenees. And although it's 300 kilometres to there, but I would have enough there to go to Perpignan, charge up, and then go the rest of the way. And I'm going to need a fair bit of juice in the battery because we're going to go up the Pyrenees, and the last bit there, it's pretty steep and we're climbing sort of quite a lot of metres. So I'm going to want to have a good bit of charge in the battery to get the second part of the journey done. It's going to be interesting, really interesting to see how much the mountain is going to affect the use of the battery. I'm looking forward to trying that out. It'll be even more interesting, more delightful when we're coming back. And when we're coming back, we'll be able to see how much battery gets charged with regen coming down the mountain. So on the last day in the place we were staying, so when we're sort of doing some camping by the lake there, what I'll do is I'll charge it up to a certain percentage, maybe to 70% or 80%, come down the mountain, and hopefully by the time I got back down to Perpignan, I'll either have the same amount in the battery, like 70 or 80%, or maybe I'll have a little bit more in there because there's going to be a lot of regen coming down the mountain. So anyway, this is my plan for the day, and I'll talk to you more later. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now. Hi there, this is Dave Allen for EV20 Questions, and I'm in a place called CHAdeMO or something like that. Don't really quite know exactly what it's called, but still. Anyway, we came to find this charger to have a look around this. It looks a really nice place as well, a really good place for windsurfers. There's a place back there, and there was like 50 or 60 auto caravans there with people sort of, well, obviously all windsurfers, because the lagoon that's out there was just full of people whizzing up and down on windsurf boards. So anyway, found this place eventually after having a little bit of not mishaps, but I tried to get into the Nissan dealer in Perpignan, and they were closed for lunch. So that wasn't very good. So then we got to this one here, and I was starting to get a bit frustrated and disappointed because I bought a card called Kiwi, Kiwhi, and I got that card and I thought it was going to be really good. Let's just turn the heating off there, or the air conditioning off. So anyway, I first of all tried that card, and that didn't work. Then I've got the what's it called now? There's another card, it's a blue one, CHAdeMO. So I got the CHAdeMO card and tried that, and that didn't work. So finally I got out a card which was the Newmotion card, and it worked, so I'm delighted. There's charge going in there, and at the moment it's showing us, let's have a look on the screen there. So it's going in at 31 kilowatts. It's going to take an hour and a half to get to full, and it'll take 31 minutes to get to 75%. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to leave it here. It's going to charge while I'm going to go and find something to eat. And just have a look on the battery sort of details. The battery temperature is just a little bit about over halfway, which is not bad, since I've just driven. Let me just have a look at the figures here by the information. So I've just driven 185 kilometres, and I think I was doing a really good job of it. So the car's working perfectly. A little bit of difficulty with some of the cards and finding some places like the Nissan garage. We got I told the Siri to give me directions to the Nissan dealers in Perpignan, and it took me to the wrong one. So and that may have just slowed us down just enough so we missed the closing time for the dealers. Anyway, so maybe on the way back what I'll do is I'll have a look and call into the dealers there and maybe even sort of plug it in there just to put an extra little bit of charge in there, just because I can, because it's free and so on. This one I'm getting here with a Newmotion card. I'm sure it's a paid charging. I don't think it's going to be too expensive, but at the same time it would have been nice if I could have used the Nissan one, which would have been free. Well, after we did the charging at CHAdeMO, well, we had the food there. I got back to the car and it was 96% in the battery, which is about 30 minutes or so. I don't know exactly, I'll find out later probably. And we'll have more than enough to get back home again. Noisy machine going past. And following the time spent charging and eating, we went to a beach nearby. It was lovely to have a dip and just perfect. Hi there, this is Dave Allen for EV20 Questions, and I've arrived back in San Filio. I'm not far away from home now, another maybe 10 kilometres and I'll be back. And just looking at the battery temperature on the car, and it's hit the first of the red lines on the screen there. And the amount of juice I've got in there at the moment is 56%. So I started off with 100, I've got 56% in there now. I did one rapid charge at that place CHAdeMO in France, and I put in a good amount there. I can't remember the details now, but I got to a good amount of percentage of battery and continued my journey. And then on the way back home again, we stopped at Girona. I pulled into a place where I could get some free charge. I didn't need the battery charging really, because I had enough in there to get me back home again, but because it was free and we wanted to get some food, we stopped and got some pizza, stayed there for about 40 minutes, and it was going in at 20 kilowatts. So it wasn't going in as fast as it was going in when it was at when it was in France, but it was going in fast enough, it was good enough. So it took it up to about 73%, something like that, and now at 56%. And everything's looking hunky-dory. And if I just go to the information thing now for my stats for the day, so what I've actually sort of been driving, I've done 366 kilometres so far, so it's not that far away from getting 400 kilometres. A lot of driving, but you know what, I feel actually sort of quite fresh afterwards. In the past, when I've done 300 kilometres, at the end of it I'm sort of in the state where I'm let's just turn off this turn off the air conditioning and relax. Okay, so after doing 366 kilometres, normally I'd be sort of kind of cream crackered, but on this particular occasion I'm feeling okay, sort of fairly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I've done sort of let's see, an average of 55 kilometres per hour, so not sort of going fast but not going slow either. The average of kilometres per kilowatt hour is 7. Which isn't bad. I've been sort of taking it fairly easy, sticking on quite a lot of the off motorway stuff, although we did do some motorway as well, sort of part of the way, on the way there and on the way back, just to miss out going through some of Perpignan. And I've been driving with D mode, with E-pedal and with Eco, and everything's looking good. At the moment the car's telling me I've got 156 kilometres left in the battery, which is good. The other thing is, Pro Pilot Assist and the intelligent cruise control has been intelligent and been assistive, and I'm delighted. The last time we did the similar trip, when we went up to France, we'd only got 60 kilometres maybe, and it started complaining. Today, no complaints whatsoever. None of this sort of bring us to a bit of a, like it wanted to stop, or any sort of completely to a halt, or complaining that the radar sensor is blocked. None of that stuff. Everything worked perfectly, so thank you to Nissan Garage in Terrassa for putting that right for me. They did a good job there. So basically everything went really well for a day out with the Nissan Leaf. I'm delighted with the car, and this thing with rapid gate, it hasn't really affected me today, because the time we stopped in CHAdeMO in France to get some charge, we stopped for about 30-40 minutes, something like that, and I got plenty of charge in there. It was going in there at 38, I think it was, 38 kilowatts, so that was fast enough, and I had plenty in there once we got going again. and then continued on driving. I could have driven all the way back home again because I've had plenty of juice to do so. Didn't really need to stop in Girona, but the belly wanted me to stop. We needed to get some food and just have a little break. I thought 20 minutes, half an hour would be enough. The charger only gives you, it's supposed to only give you 30 minutes free charge anyway, but I was there for 40 minutes. I got back there wasn't anybody waiting or complaining that I was hogging the charger. If I wanted to do more driving today, I've still got 156 kilometres in the battery there. I could still drive, let's say I've got 366 in there. Let's do a bit of rounding down there, so I could do 500. I could actually do 600 kilometres in a day because of the charging that I've done. So that would be more than plenty for me. I mean, 600, I mean, getting to 500 kilometres in a day, I mean, that's plenty for me. But I could still continue and drive for another 150 kilometres without any bother in terms of battery and charging and so on. I mean, even if it came to it, I could still sort of, just by driving it easy, the temperature's going down because it's sort of getting towards later in the day, and the battery may cool down a wee bit as well. I could possibly stop and have a little bit of a charge, put another 100 kilometres in there. So at the end of the day, I could still actually end up with possibility of doing 700 kilometres in a day without any bother. And the reason that the car beeped is because the car is switched on and a young boy went past the car and it recognised that it was someone next to the sensors, and it turned the camera on and showed me that there was someone next to the car. So there you go, this is Dave Allen for EV20 Questions, talking to you about my road trip to France and how good things are with the Nissan 2018 Leaf. Bye bye now.